Hey, what's going on everybody, and welcome back to my channel Movie Files. Elliot back again with a brand new early movie review, and today we'll be discussing a new Disney live action comedy drama by the name of Cruella, which will be coming to theaters as well as on Disney Plus for $30 on May 28th, this coming Friday. Now I got the chance to check it out early courtesy of Disney, and I am really excited to let you all know my pros, my cons, my thoughts on the performances, the direction, the production of this film, share with you all some of my criticisms, but also if you're not able to see this in theaters, I'm gonna let you all know if I think it's worth that $30 price tag, all in this spoiler-free review. But before we break it down, make sure you all are following me on all my other social media accounts. If you all are new to the channel, welcome to the community. Consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell. That way you can get the alert from when I drop new content. It would mean the world to me if you all can like and share this review. It helps out the channel a lot, but I also appreciate the support. And listen, I got a couple questions for you all in the comments. Number one, what was your excitement level for this film? What was your anticipation level for this film? And more importantly, if you were excited for it, how did you see it for the first time? Was it in theaters, or did you stay at home and pay $30 for it? And more importantly, do you think it was worth $30? But also, let's talk about the movie. Your pros, your cons, thoughts on the direction, the performances, the style, the costume, the soundtrack. What were some of your criticisms? And also, this is a Disney live action movie. We've gotten quite a few of those in the last 5 to 7 years. What is your favorite Disney live action film within that window of time? Is it Cruella? Is it something else? Let's talk about it in the comments. So to answer my own question, what was my anticipation level for this movie? I'm not gonna lie, listen, I love Emma Stone. I'm going to talk about her in a second. Emma Thompson, I'm a fan of their work. I like the director of this movie, but I'm not going to lie, guys. I wasn't overly excited for this movie. The trailer was okay. The thing that really kind of made me a little bit nervous with this film is the track record. It's the Disney live action track record within the last 5 to 7 years, right? It's some hits, it's some misses. You know, I like the Cinderella film. I like, you know, more recently Aladdin, but there's a lot of misses in that batch of films that we got in that last window of time. So I wasn't overly excited, but listen, I am happy to say that I am so glad I gave this film a chance. And we're going to get into my reasons why. Starting off with my positives, it's a Disney live action film, but you could have fooled me. I did not think this was a Disney film, and I'm saying that to be positive. It doesn't have the paint-by-numbers, stereotypical Disney type of story. It's very unique. It's very bold. It's very different. It's dark, and more importantly, it is extremely entertaining. Now, just getting right into it, this film has 2 incredible performances, 2 Emmas in this film, starting off with the lead Emma, Emma Stone, who plays 2 roles. Now, before I get into my thoughts on her performances, I'm a big Emma Stone fan. Dating back to 2007, my favorite comedy of all time, seeing her in Superbad, and just watching her career in the comedy realm, whether it's Easy A, Crazy Stupid Love, you see that transition to the more big blockbuster stuff like Zombieland, The Amazing Spider-Man, and then she makes that switch. She gets more into the dramatic roles. You think of films like The Help, Birdman, La La Land, and which is my favorite. I love La La Land. And then you see Battle of the Sexes, and then just a couple years ago, The Favorite. I think all those roles have led her to this role. Listen, I love Emma Stone. I think she has a fantastic career, but I think this might be her best performance to date. That says a lot because I already love what she's done in her early career. She's playing dual roles, starting off with Estella. Now, she is an inspiring fashion designer, but she just doesn't have that personality to really kind of put herself out there. She's a little bit more timid. You know, she's a little bit more on the softer side. She's softly spoken. She doesn't want attention. She was told at a very young age to kind of tame it down. Don't be as loud or as, you know, want the attention as another character she plays in this film. So she was told at a very young age to kind of be someone that she might not want to be. But seeing her as Estella and then seeing her alter ego, seeing the complete opposite played by Emma Stone as Cruella de Vil. She is not Estella. She's almost like a defense mechanism. She is, when Estella can't get something done, she goes to Cruella because Cruella is someone that gets things done. She is someone that is a dangerous criminal. She has this obsession with power and control, and she does not take no for an answer. So just seeing Estella going against Cruella, and it's almost just like, you know, diving into these characters, Estella wants to be Cruella because she can't get things done, so she leans on Cruella. And again, it's almost like, for my basketball fans, Kobe Bryant's my favorite athlete of all time. It's almost like the Kobe Bryant turns into the Black Mamba mentality. It's for my Queen Bee fans out there. It's Beyonce when she turns into Sasha Fierce. And there's so many different other athletes and actors and all this stuff that kind of turn that switch on, and you see that when Estella needs to get it done, she goes to Cruella, and Cruella gets it done. And just seeing her performances in both those roles were just, I was in awe in her performance. But there's another Emma, an Academy Award-winning Emma in this film, played by Emma Thompson, who plays the Baroness. Now, she is the character in this film that has this own, she's a prestigious fashion house owner. She is the boss of Estella, and she is a boss in her own right. She is the character in this film. I compare her to my Game of Thrones fan. She is like Cersei Lannister meets Meryl Streep's Miranda from Devil Wears Prada. She's a character you're supposed to hate in this movie, but I loved her. She is ruthless. She is relentless. She doesn't care if you like her. She doesn't care about your opinion. She gets things done. She is the reason why Estella calls out her alter ego, because she sees Cruella in this Baroness. And I thought Emma Thompson was just so fantastic. Her dialogue, her persona, her swagger, the way she carried herself. Again, she's the villain of this film, but I love the villain in this film. I thought both Emmas, their chemistry, they played off each other so well. You can tell they were both having fun in these roles, and I thought they were just completely amazing. And the transformation in both characters was just, I loved them incredibly. They were both great. But going into the other performances, this film was stacked with a really solid performance across the board, whether it be Joel Fry, who plays Jasper, who I thought was going to maybe be a love interest, but no, the film didn't have time for that. Again, this isn't your traditional Disney film. I really like what he brought to the table as the thief of the crew and kind of the more level-headed person in this group, who was also rounded out by Walter Hauser as Horace, who's kind of the bumbling idiot of the group, but I had a fun time with that character. You have someone like Emily Beecham, who plays Catherine, the mother of Estella, who had a really warmth performance. You have someone like Kirby Howell-Baptiste, who plays Anita Darling, who was a friend of Estella, who knew her at a very young age. I like that actress, but also kind of the secret sauce, kind of the cherry on top. Whenever I see Mark Strong or something, I'm like, okay, I'm in for a good time. I didn't even know Mark Strong was in this film. I don't remember seeing him in the trailers. He's like the secret sauce. I think of when I saw Kick-Ass for the first time, and Mark Strong was in that film, and I love that film. I was so surprised by Kick-Ass. Kingsman, seeing him in 1917, he's a great actor, and I thought him as John, he's a very unique character, has a lot to do in this film. I really enjoyed him. Again, there's so many great performances led by the two Emmas. So I want to talk about some other characters. We have some dogs in this movie, quite a few dogs, but also I want to give a shout out to those wonderful dogs, Buddy and Winks. They were fantastic. But speaking of the dogs, I like how the film handles the lore of the Dalmatians franchise. I'm not really the biggest 101, 102 animated Dalmatians fan. I've seen the films, but they don't really stick with me as far as like growing up, but I appreciated the Easter eggs, the nod to what came before this film. I like how Cruella gets her name. I like how she gets her hatred of these Dalmatians. I think of, I don't know why this is coming to my mind, but you all were, if you saw Han Solo film, the way Han gets his name, it felt so forced to me, but the way Cruella de Vil gets her persona, gets her name, the way she gets her hatred towards Dalmatians, it didn't feel forced. It felt very organic to what the story they were telling. So I love all the little ways that they built the origin stories of this character, which I definitely want to highlight the story and the themes that we get within this film. Whether, yes, I know it's going to have the comparisons of, this is Disney's versions of the Joker, Harley Quinn. We have some comparisons of the Devil Wears Prada. We even have some Ocean 11 vibes, because there's a couple heists that take place in this movie. And sure, it has all those comparisons, but it's still a unique story within itself, right? This is a story about dreams and what people are willing to do to get their dreams done. We see Estella inspiring to be a fashion designer in the 70s. This is a story dealing with finding your way in life and finding your own voice and finding self-discovery. This is a story about legacy and how you're not able to choose into the family you're born into, and creating your own path and creating your own narrative within your own life. The themes of being rebellious, creative, bold, and being different really kind of shines through in this film. And I also want to say, I'm someone that normally likes to figure things out pretty quickly. There's a lot of twists and turns that I did not see coming that I was really surprised with. And then lastly, I have to talk about the director of this film, Craig Gillespie, who was the director of 2017's I, Tonya. He also did Fright Night. He's a really great director, and I think he had complete control of this film. This film brought so much flair and personality to this movie. I thought his direction was fantastic, and I cannot leave without finishing off my positives to talk about the incredible production from the hair and makeup design and the team there. This movie will win the Oscar for the best costume, because Emma Thompson and Emma Stone Their fashion was on point. I'm not even really a big fashion person. This is like the Met Gala on steroids. The costumes in this were on fire. I think they're going to win the Oscar for best costuming. But last but not least, I can't leave out the Oscar-winning composer, Nicholas Patel, whose score was incredible in this movie. But the soundtrack in this film has so much personality, so much flair. The 60s and the 70s, this soundtrack is next level. This is like Guardians of the Galaxy, some of your favorite soundtracks. The music in this film is a character within itself. It plays so well into the narrative. Whenever you have like a needle drop in this film, it fit into what was going on the screen. The score and the soundtrack were fantastic in this movie. Again, the acting, the direction, the production, incredible. The film does have some criticism. I do have some things here. I truly don't have a lot of gripes. I'm not going to lie. Besides, I think the film is a little bit too long in the tooth. It's about 10 to 15 minutes, a little bit too long, especially when you get kind of in that second half. It's not boring. It's good pacing. I just feel like there were some things that could have been taken out of the film to kind of shorten it up a little bit. And then I mentioned a little bit earlier that I don't feel like this is a Disney film, but I will say the first 10 to 15 minutes when we get the introduction of Estella, we meet Jasper and Horace, and kind of that beginning of the movie felt a little Disney-fied. It felt like a little bit of a Disney kid-friendly film, but it definitely, once Emma Stone becomes the adult, the Estella / Cruella, that's when the film kind of picks up its personality, and more so when she works with, the Baroness. That's when I think the film really kind of picked up this life. So I think the first half, out of the rest of the movie, tonally speaking, still a good movie, still a good intro, but I think that the first half wasn't as strong as the second and the third act in this movie personally. And then last but not least, this isn't really a criticism, but I beg the question for you all. This doesn't feel like a Disney movie, like I said multiple times in this review, but I'm just curious on the target audience. Now, for me, I would say teens will probably relate to this film, the rebellious nature of teenagers, and also adults, because there's a lot of dark themes in this film. Again, self-discovery, a coming-of-age story. So I think teenagers and adults will probably relate and enjoy this film, but I don't know about the kids. So if you're watching this at home, if you're a parent, if you have a kid that's under the age of 10, did they enjoy this film? What were some of the things they took away? Or like me, I don't think kids are going to really relate to this film, especially being a Disney live action film. There's no princesses. There's a little bit of family legacy that I don't want to give too much away, but there isn't a princess. There isn't a prince. There isn't really a love story in this film. So I'm just curious on the parents at home. What did your kids under 10 think of this movie? Again, not really a big criticism. I'm just curious on what you think the target audience of this movie would be. So those are my pros, those are my cons. Before I give you my overall score, give you my overall thoughts, and ultimately, do I think it's worth that $30 price tag if you're not able to see it in theaters? Make sure you all are liking the video, sharing the video, leaving your thoughts in the comments, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, that way you don't miss any of my other content. So, at the end of the day, overall, guys, this film had no business being as great as it was based on the track record of old Disney live action films, and this is easily my favorite Disney live action film to date. It's bold, it's dark, it is extremely entertaining, and I'm telling you all, both Emmas give award-worthy performances. The production across the board was absolutely incredible. The actual story was great. The film is what I expect to see from Disney live action films moving forward. The bar has been set for me, and listen, do not underestimate Cruella. With all that being said, I've seen the film twice now, and I showed it to a friend of mine who's a huge Disney animated fan, but they don't like the Disney live action films. They love this film. I love this film, and I'm going to give Cruella a 4.5 out of 5. Listen, this is easily one of the biggest surprises I've seen in a very long time, because yet again, I was not that excited for this movie, but I am so glad I watched it. 4.5 out of 5 for me for Cruella. Going back to my question, if you're not able to see this in theaters, which I would recommend seeing in theaters if you all are in an area that you feel comfortable seeing it, but if you're not able to see it in theaters, is it worth $30? I'm not one to tell you all how to spend your money. Again, if you have a family of 4 or 5, then yes, economically speaking, financially speaking, it makes sense because I think it's worth seeing. But as a singular person, $30 price tag, I don't think any movie's worth $30. But if there was a movie that may be worth $30 in this new premium access or rollout, I would say that I would recommend you all see it. If you don't feel comfortable paying $30, again, I don't want to tell you how to spend your money. When it is available to see on Disney Plus for free in probably 45, 90 days, you want to see this film. This is a must-see film. This is the biggest hit surprise that I've seen in a very long time. I really enjoyed this film, guys. So that's my thoughts on Cruella. Had a good time with it, but I want to know what you all thought of it. Once you've seen it, your pros, your cons, your thoughts on all the things I had to say, the stuff that you might have pulled away from the film, the story, the performances, the fire costumes, and the soundtrack. And hey, you might have some criticism with the movie. I want to know about it. Let me know in the comments. As always, make sure to like the video, share the video. Again, let me know what your favorite Disney live action movie is. Mine is Cruella, then followed by Cinderella, but let me know yours in the comments. As always, thank you all for watching this review. Hope you're staying safe. We'll see you in the next video.